And so this is a different type of construction. Some of our clients do residential construction. So we have a small development here with 3 houses, 2 of which have been built, and 1 is in the process of being built right now. So I started adding to this items we actually see on a job site, such as the individual here, the two to my left, who is taking a wheelbarrow with a gas cylinder inside of it up a plank to the first floor. Pretty much everybody can say that's probably not the safest way of doing it. And then you add to the fact that he's standing there not wearing his safety equipment and smoking a cigarette. You've got a lot of issues that can happen there. But it's nice because I like it because everyone recognizes a housing construction. They recognize stick build. They say, hey, maybe my own house got built this way. So not only is it something that the worker relates to, but you can relate to it from a personal aspect because you've seen home construction and you've pretty much have seen a lot of things that aren't done properly.
Yes, and by the way, I'm noticing that he is in a dangerous situation, but he is not really a person, so it's perfectly safe for him to do that.
That is true. He is just a mesh creation, and so therefore he's not going to get hurt. And this is something you obviously would not be able to demonstrate on a job site because I'm not going to have anybody with a lit cigarette anywhere near combustible gas.
Oh, of course not.
Well, here, why don't we follow me up? And I was going to say, why don't we go and walk inside, up the steps here, and
yeah.
And you can see, I mean, it starts, you get the feel of an actual site. We have some things nice, like a fire extinguisher that's readily available to everybody. And then we also have a couple employees over here on one side, one who's properly ready to come to work, safety boots, hard hat, safety glasses, high visibility vest, and all her tools. And then you got another gentleman who just kind of showed up that day to work and is not of the right frame of mind. And it's quite common to have 1 or 2 of those on your job site, and they need a talking to. Or if they're not going to maintain the safety requirements of the job site, they are going to be asked to go home.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I'm getting this one in the hard hat. I'm getting pictures of him by way of showing that he's got all this equipment.
We better be careful here.
Well, and of course the point is you can do this both as a demonstration and as a test, because essentially you can say you can ask people to find all of the safety violations in this area. And
correct. And also, I would not want to get anyone holding a hammer like that mad at me. So I just looked at it that way.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the areas, one of our clients were talking about how to help to coach the younger safety professional in making sure that they are able to spot different safety violations. And just what you said, Selby, is we have another warehouse that is not done yet, but the whole goal of it is creating numerous violations or hazards, and you do a walkthrough and you click on the violation or hazard and it says correct, this is wrong because, and another hazard, correct, this is wrong because, and it'll explain to you why that hazard is incorrect. And that's we're trying to develop a training tool for the young safety manager coming through up in the field.
Yeah. Well, actually, besides that, beyond that, and I was working with another group that was providing instruction, management instruction. So they were the subject was not specifically safety, but how do you convey to somebody the correct what you need to convey to them when you're the supervisor, and it is not going to be good to say, stupid guy, do this. That's not going to work. You know that. So what they did was actually offer opportunities, several things that a person could say, and given the choice, they would come back and note that either this was a good choice or this was not a good choice, but because it would have some particular consequences.
Absolutely. I mean, because it is a lot of times it does look at thinking about the actual construction worker, but you've got the whole team there. You've got your project managers, your superintendents, so many people, the owner's representative. There's so many people involved here, and getting them to do the right thing and work together and understand it is a team that makes a construction project this work. Again, this venue is perfect for doing those type of scenario-based training.
Because of course you can bring the whole team in and they can talk with each other just as they would on a real site. The main difference is they can, whatever they do won't hurt anybody.
Absolutely. And also, and at this point, I'm just thinking, you can see what I've got here, and there we've got, so we're working on maritime safety. We're on top of a train tunnel right now, where we can do eventually be able to do like proper how do you flag and mark out to allow a crew to work on a track. We have a machine shop. There's a lot of different things. And I'm just kind of railing a bit, but as you can see I've also done things like I got McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken and a lot of things that make mentally you go, this is familiar. The more I personally feel, the more we make it visually real, the more the brain's going to process the training we're doing as if it is real.
Well, yeah, because as a matter of fact, there is a thing called situational learning, and what the basic finding there is, if you learn something in a particular situation, you will recall it better if you go back to that situation.
Yep. And that's why and it's something we haven't done yet, but I was thinking about, and Mike and I have been really looking at like, where can we take this? I mean, and this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. It's a long race, and we're going to take it slow and paced. But one thing is that, there are situations where unfortunately something happens. Somebody is seriously hurt or close to being seriously hurt, but it's a situation could occur. So to render that situation, the events, the conditions and acts that worked up to that unfortunate event can be rendered here to see if people can catch those leading indicators before somebody would have gotten hurt. So there's so many things that we see that we can do here as we move this down the line.
Oh yes, as a matter of fact, I was reviewing an accident report, and the accident report was just an example of that, because what happened, and it was a situational condition. There was turn-on levers could be in either of two positions, and marking the pipe outlet as off. Now that's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
You immediately see that. You want only one position, and of course, the way in the video they could show that immediately, and basically it's perfectly obvious that that's a really dumb thing to have.
All right. Well, it's interesting you mentioned that, because at the tank farm and rail loading site I've created here, one of the things I was showing Mike is that you can lower one of the arms for the four types of product that could be loaded on a tank car here. You can only lower that arm and turn the system on from the loading platform, the elevated loading platform, and then it changes the color of an indicator on the four risers at ground level. But as a person walking by, I want to see all greens, which means they're all safe, or only one red. But if I walked up and I saw two of them red, meaning two products are being pumped at once, I've got it set up where the person on the ground could actually turn it off. So everyone can actually, I can train that mentality. If anyone can make that action to safe it, but not anybody can turn the product on, only the operator. So it's thought process we put into this that,
Yeah.
little piece at a time,